Find your engine code, jet tag, and much more exclusively at roadsuntraveled.com.
All right, good day, everybody. My name is Marcus. Welcome back to Roads Untraveled. As always, this is a very special day because we're in a BMW i8. I drove an i8 about a year ago, and we're back basically here with Jesse. Thanks for coming out, Jesse. Glad you could bring the car out. And the whole point of these two videos here, or these two segments, are to get an actual owner's perspective, because the i8 I feel like is in a weird place now where it's been out for long enough. It still looks crazy futuristic. The design has not aged one bit yet, and they are coming down in value, but at the same time, there's a lot of other cars for the money that you could put a case up against for the i8, right? So Jesse, we're basically gonna go over, and I'm gonna get your thoughts, on what you think of driving this car on a daily basis, because that's what you do, right?
Yeah, I got this car about a month ago, and I've been literally driving it every day for the last probably 25 to 30 days. Mm-hmm. And it surprised me. Like, when I bought the car, I was expecting something else, and a month later, it completely changed my perspective on the car. So, which brings up the first point that I really like about the car. It's actually a surprisingly good GT car. When you first look at it, you wouldn't think that it would be a very comfortable car to cruise around. It wouldn't be daily drivable.
No, that's my thoughts too, yeah.
Exactly, but after driving it for a month, honestly, if I didn't have any other cars, I would be able to live with this car if I don't have any kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
The most important thing the one thing that people point out that they don't like about the car is it's really hard to get in and out. But once you figure that out, it's really easy to drive. It's a very comfortable car when you sit inside. The suspension is soft enough for you to not feel every bump on the road.
Yeah, no, and everybody's like first time getting in and out of a car with like a carbon tub or just big door sills in general is kind of hilarious if you watch it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Same with me, but like you said, once you get used to it and you put you swing your legs in after and everything, it's...
Yeah, I spent 10 minutes getting in and out at the dealership. I was like, okay, the first time I did it, I was like, man, this is gonna break my back every day. But after doing it for 10 minutes, I figured out the exact posture that you need to get in and out. And after that, we're still young, right? Like, that's not something that bothers me.
Totally.
I don't really see this as a plus, but my girlfriend does, because the steering is very, very easy. It's very easy to drive. It almost drives like a normal car.
Yeah.
And it's not like a supercar that's intimidating. So it's something that you can just get in and start driving and without thinking about it. So. No,
and yeah, to that point, especially, like, I've never driven an Aventador, but like you said, supercars can be very intimidating, whereas it's a pretty good size, I mean, the steering too, definitely, like, it's super light steering. It's really straightforward to drive. Visibility is pretty good too. I can see that.
It's very surprising, and I think the back seat is misunderstood as well. Because it's really hard to get in and out, but once you get in, it's actually more spacious than a lot of the other 2+2 coupes that you can buy on the market today. I actually had a friend visiting for a week, and my other car was in the shop. So I had him sit in the back seat for pretty much the entire week. We had, sometimes we go out 3 or 4 friends, and it's not that uncomfortable. Obviously, if you're 6 feet and above, it's gonna be pretty tight. Yeah. But if you're around 5'7" to, let's say, like 5'10", I'm around 5'11". I can sit there comfortably for around 10 to 15 minutes. With the back seats as well, it's you can put your luggage, your soft, or like a little suitcase back there as well for short drives.
Now, is there actually I don't think there is, but is there like a trunk up front or no?
No, there is no trunk up front.
Right, batteries, right? I guess.
It's got an electric motor in the front. And I've actually only opened it once, and it's really hard to do. I read somewhere that you're not supposed to open it because it might break. You actually need
really?
2 people to open it, so it's really hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
I've daily driven quite a few cars that I've daily driven an E-Coupe, daily driven a Porsche Boxer actually a few years ago.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I daily drove the Maserati Ghibli SQ4, and to be honest, out of those cars, I think the i8 is the most comfortable.
No way, really?
Yeah, so
That's surprising.
I almost feel like, I know this is probably my own opinion, but
controversial.
Controversial, yeah. Sitting in the Bentley GT, I actually felt like the seats are not as comfortable as the i8.
No kidding.
Yeah, so it's very surprising in terms of daily drivability. It's pretty practical if you don't have kids.
I mean, right now, like, you look like you're in a comfortable position in the passenger seat, and back there's still a little bit of room. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The leg room is actually okay. The headroom is lacking.
Oh, is that where it gets a little tight?
That's where it's tight. But
right.
If you can just sit back there for 10 minutes, it's actually not that uncomfortable. So it's got functional back seats.
Okay, yeah. So you like the fact that it's a GT car?
Yeah. For me, this is definitely a very comfortable and stylish GT car, which brings us to my next point. Next thing that I really like about the car is obviously its stunning looks from the outside. The design is absolutely gorgeous. Every time I get in and out of the car, I feel like a rock star.
Yeah.
Right? Especially
no kidding.
With the doors up. It's definitely got the appearance of a supercar.
It does. It has the presence, but at the same time, if you line this up next to like a 650S, or even like a 540C now, right? And that's like McLaren's like entry-level supercar.
Exactly.
It, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it has the presence, but
looks per price or per dollar.
Looks
per dollar. This car is probably up there.
It's right up there. I mean, what else are you gonna get with doors that look like this?
Exactly.
For the money, like seriously, I'm pretty sure this is what you're looking at.
Exactly.
For under 200 grand, like.
Yeah, well under 200 grand.
No, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the second thing I really love about it. I think that's what sold me the car, honestly. Being comfortable and being really good looking. The next thing I really like about it is its technology. The hybrid drivetrain, I mean, when it first came out back in 2014, the only cars that had a similar technology was the Holy Trinity, the 918, LaFerrari MP1. Obviously, nowadays we have the Acura NSX and Ford GT.
Yeah.
But even if you put all those cars together, the i8 is way cheaper than any of those cars that we just mentioned.
Yeah, to get into a car with this technology,
Exactly. It's got a carbon fiber reinforced plastic tub. It's still very new nowadays, but this car, I think it represents the future. The V8 bi-turbos and naturally aspirated V10s.
Yeah.
I mean, those cars are going out. Most sports cars are going to be hybrids nowadays.
Absolutely, yeah.
And
pretty much everything.
Driving this car, it's a very significant car in terms of its technology, and I believe it shows how sports cars in the future, it doesn't have to be boring. And
no, yeah, it has. I mean, let's put it this way: people like to rag on the i8 because it's not like 600 horsepower fast.
Yeah.
It's a fast car.
Yeah, it's fast enough for you to get around town and for you to have fun.
Yeah.
In twisty back roads.
I mean, yeah, it's to the point where you can easily get into trouble. You can row through a couple gears and then look down at the speedo and be like, oh, all right.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably slow down a little bit.
Yeah, it's not like mind-blinding fast.
No.
But it's plenty fast enough. But for a car that can be this capable, it's very, very efficient as well, and that's due to its technology as well. Because when you put it in sport mode, it actually charges the battery, so you basically never have to plug it in.
That's so cool.
Even though if you're in pure electric mode, the range is only like 20 kilometers. But like it charges up when you're in sport mode in 5 minutes, or like probably like 10 kilometers.
Really? Oh wow.
Charges really quickly, and you basically never run out of electricity. That's why it makes it so fuel efficient. And how it really makes the difference is if you're stuck in traffic in any other car, not even a supercar, you're gonna have to pay up you know, at the end of the day.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
feel.
twin turbo V8s are not cheap to run.
No,
not at all.
For
Like
this car, you know, I can be stuck in traffic and not worry about, you know, running out of gas, because some people are complaining that it has a very small gas tank.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're stuck in traffic, it actually doesn't use up any gas because it's in full electric mode. So
it's the weirdest thing, honestly, because you hit the start-stop button and everything turns on, then you're like, well, where's the engine? It's like,
yeah, exactly.
Well, no, you just put it in drive and then you hear it fire up, right?
Exactly. I mean, compared to the other cars, I've daily driven this car for a month. I spent around $150 on gas, and that's
cool.
probably like $250 to $300 less than I would in my other cars.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I know like people are saying, you know, you can afford gas or whatever, but I mean, I would prefer to have $300 in my pocket.
Of course.
To do something else, right?
It doesn't matter how many cars you have. I mean, gas is gas.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
So,
Like yeah, no, it's very technologically advanced. Even like, you know, years after it's come out.
Yeah.
I will agree with you on that. Absolutely, yeah.
For sure. And the last point that I really like about the car is its versatility. When you first look at a car like this, you wouldn't think it's capable of having different characters. But like you said in your last video, it's a very good city car. And when you put it in pure electric mode, it's completely silent. And sometimes I get home, or sometimes I pull up to a friend's house, they'll come and say, "Oh, I didn't hear you coming." Right?
Of course not.
I guess we can call it the creep mode. You know, if you actually creep up to your friends or something, or you're stalking a really hot girl, you probably wouldn't get noticed, right?
Which is super funny, because you look at the car and the looks of it are so shouty.
Exactly.
But then it's silent. You can make it silent.
Exactly. I've actually had people yelling at me. He's like, "Rev the engine, rev it up." And I'm like, I step on it, there's no sound, right?
Oh,
you know?
That's so good. It sounds cool, dude. When you actually go full throttle, you can just hear the electric motors like wind up, basically.
Exactly. And when you like let go of the throttle, you can hear the engine braking you can hear it charging up.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's really cool. I've never experienced that in other cars.
It's got the dual personality, absolutely. I think that's what you're trying to get at.
Yeah.
And it has enough of both. I think, honestly, what I think is the i8 went a little bit too far to the city car. But yourself, now hearing your perspective of actually daily driving it, I'm like, well, you're actually using it, I think, for what BMW initially just completely intended it to, right? Yeah. A lot of people go into the i8 with the wrong intentions of being like, yeah, it's a supercar that just happens to be hybrid. Well, no. You get 55 miles to the gallon. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, supercars that are hybrid cost $1 million. And so,
yeah.
So I mean, it's not meant for that. It's not meant for the track. It's not meant to be super fast on the drag strip.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it's fun enough for you to take out, you know, to the twisty back roads, and it's you know, daily drivable enough for you to drive it every day. So it's like almost having a very comfortable Camry and a 911 at the same time.
Sure. Yeah.
Or maybe Camry's not a very good.
Well, Jesse, that's actually really cool to hear all this from, like, you know, someone who's driven the car and like actually dailies the car, and even still, you don't see these around very often at all.
No.
They're pretty rare.
Yeah, I know. Every time I see an i8 driver, actually a couple times when in the traffic when I see an i8 driver, we would say hi, because it's not something that happens very often.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, well, yeah, thanks. That's good. Hope you guys enjoyed these 5 things that Jesse really likes about the car. Very nice to have a, you know, daily driver owner perspective. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the 5 things that aren't so good about the i8.